What's cooking, good looking? And welcome to the official Roblu Cloud tutorial for events. So one of the things that sets Roblu apart from other scouting apps is that it supports unlimited events. An event in Roblu is essentially just a model that stores scouting data that allows you to sync it between devices, to export it to CSV, or to analyze the data with the data inside of it. Events means that Roblu is compatible for any year of robotics. Roblu is set up so that you don't have to download a new version when a new robotics season comes around. You can keep using the old version, and it'll store all your previous scouting data on the app, so you can view previous scouting data or forms or whatever when you need to. So if you've downloaded the Roblu Master app, which is available on Google Play and on GitHub, and you can also set up a Windows emulator for it, but that is all in a text-based tutorial, which I will link to in the description. So when you're in this app, what you're seeing right now is an event. So you have a list of teams here, right? You can click on a team, and it shows the forms and the matches that team is in. For example, Northern Lights Regional, there are 60 teams. You can sort through them, you can search them. Like I said, you open up a team, and it'll display a sideways view of every match that team is in, along with an overview tab, which gives you a quick overview of everything in this team, a pit tab, which shows you, it's a pit scouting metrics, predictions metrics if you use it, and qualification, or your standard match metrics. So that's what an event is. Event stores scouting data and allows you to move it around really quickly. So if you open up this side drawer here, it'll open up what I like to call the event drawer. And this is just kind of the overview settings for the whole Roblu Master app. So at the top here, you can click Create Event when you need to create a new event. It's pretty self-explanatory. Between these two white lines, you'll have access to all the different events that you have stored locally, with the most recently created event appearing at the top. If you click on one of these events, you'll get 3 options below it that allow you to do some configuration for this event. So if I tap Scout, it'll just reload all the teams list, or refresh the teams list. If you press My Matches, it'll take a second to process. Your team is missing. Okay. What I do need to do here is, what you should do is set your team number in the event. And I'm just, I'm not actually on this team, but I'm just testing from this team. Oh, clicked the wrong one. Okay, 4859. So that should have been set earlier. Okay, so, for an event, I can click the My Matches button, and that'll load, and it'll show me all the matches that I'm in, sorted properly. So it'll tell me when the match is scheduled for according to the Blue Alliance, what alliance I'm on, who my teammates are, who my opponents are. I can go ahead and tap on a team, or I can tap on a match, and it'll allow me to go to a team's profile right away and view their scouting data. And then you also have event settings down here, which I will get into in a second. So that's how an event works, right? You have these 3 options, and you can expand this event to see what's in there. So let's go ahead to create event. You have 5 options here. And when you're looking at this, they should be separated into categories, but essentially how this works is if you're creating a new event, you're going to want to use import from the Blue Alliance or create an event manually. So when you are going to an event, I would highly recommend using the import from the bluealliance.com feature. However, if the bluealliance.com is down or the first API isn't working, use the create event manually option. But if it's up, use import from the Blue Alliance. It'll simplify your life a lot. What import from the Blue Alliance will do is it's just going to display a list of all the events happening this year. So you can select the year if you happen to need to change the year. And here's one important point. A lot of times, newer events, for example, this event, let's say this event hasn't occurred yet, or, let's go ahead and just switch to all events. So for example, let's find one. Okay, so Central Illinois Regional, right? This event hasn't occurred yet, and they probably don't have match data available for it yet. So if your team wants to test Roblu with real match data, with real match, with matches and everything like that, use a 2017 event. So if you're just testing, use an old event, because this will allow you to have the matches automatically imported for you instead of having to manually create matches. Okay. Yeah, so you can filter by My Events and All Events, the year, If it doesn't show up on this list, you can add the event manually, and you can also search right here. So when you're ready to go, you can just tap on the event. It'll download the event, and you have several options here. You can name the event, which was auto-filled in here. You can create a form type if you'd like, and I will cover this in the forms tutorial video. Essentially what a custom form is just defines what kind of metrics and data you'd like your scouters to collect at an event. You can also randomize scouting data if you just want to see what an event with randomized data will look like. And you just hit the checkmark button. It's going to ask you to create the form. We'll just click OK on that for now. And you'll see that all the matches were imported. And so what the Blue Alliance is doing, or what the Blue Alliance integration is doing, is it's downloading every one of these teams, and it's downloading the matches here. It's not actually downloading any scouting data. It's all your scouting data is provided by you. The second option is import from Roblu Cloud. Roblu, this will be explained in the Roblu Cloud video, so actually I'm not going to try to explain it here. Import read-only from Roblu Cloud. I will again explain this in the Roblu Cloud tutorial video, but Roblu allows you to share read-only data to any team you want, and all they need is your FRC team number. So it's kind of a cool feature right there. And you can also back up events and import, re-import them into the Roblu Master app. So, all right, let's get into event settings. So we can go ahead and open up the event and click Settings. Now there's a lot of different settings in here, but it all is pretty straightforward. So if you click Edit Event Info, you can change the event name or the Blue Alliance key. Keep in mind, this Blue Alliance key is what points Roblu to the correct API calls. So if this is a wrong key, Roblu won't be able to import anything from the Blue Alliance for this event. You can actually edit the form for an event, and again, I'll explain this in the forms tutorial video, which will all be linked in the description. But what editing the form does is it allows you to make real-time changes to the form whenever you want. And every single Scouter device will receive changes to the form even in the middle of an event. Sync event with TBA. What this does is, let's say you import an event, and there aren't any teams, or there aren't any matches, or maybe there's teams, but there's no matches. What this will do is it'll just re-download everything from the Blue Alliance and do a smart merge, right? So let's say, Cyberhawks wasn't added to the Blue Alliance yet. I go here, settings, sync with TBA, and I'll just run the sync call, and Cyberhawks is back, right? But it won't overwrite any old scouting data. If you're using the field data metric, I'll try to keep this video at a pretty short time, so we'll go down to field data. So the field data is basically an embedded scorecard, essentially, it's the embedded version of, and I think it would be easiest just to show you what this looks like. Okay, so if you are looking at an event here, Northern Lights Regional, for example, field data is just an embedded version of this chart right here. So if I want to sync that data, all I have to do is press sync event with TBA. And it can go back now. And we can click on it, and it will show the embedded version of all that scouting data. So that's what the sync event function does. It adds teams that are missing, it adds matches that are missing, and it will re-update any match data field metrics. This won't happen automatically. All right, so let's go back to event settings. Making good progress. Syncing. So there is a YouTube video tutorial for each one of these options. This just allows you to sync an event. And the only thing I'd like to add onto this is that you can only sync one event at a time. So, there are two events right here. You can only sync one of them. Next, you have export options. So you can create a backup file, which just allows you, you can click this. Create backup. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So it opened up the event export here, and I can go ahead and save that as a file. Okay. What is happening? I think. Oh, by the way, I'm using a screen sharing thing here, and it has some issues with the links to other apps, so that's why it crashed right there. It shouldn't happen to you, however. So you can create a backup. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you can re-import that back into the app. Creating CSV allows you to import or to export all the data from the event. And you have different sheets you can choose to generate. You can select how specific you'd like to be, and you can select 2 different file formats as well as the file name. And I'll go over this in the CSV tutorial video. But the CSV function is very powerful, and you'll see that in the video. Duplicate, you can duplicate this event, and you can either copy scouting data or not. I don't know why this is here. I don't know if anyone uses this, but it's an option. It's a good backup option if you want it. And manually import schedule. Basically what this does, and there's a tutorial video on this as well, which I'll link to. I'm referencing a lot of tutorial videos, aren't I? This will allow you, if the Blue Alliance, or First APIs are down, you can go ahead and create a file kind of like this, which team name, number, and then you can add a list of matches that they're in, and this will allow you to just quickly import a big list of big match schedules if any of the APIs are down. So Roblu is not crippled if Blue Alliance or First are. You can also delete all the teams, or you can delete the event, which, again, you'll be warned before you accidentally do any of these. All right, so that is how events work. I'm getting some notifications. Okay, yeah, that's how events work. Pretty straightforward. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, check out the description of this video for all the links that I referenced, and you guys have a great rest of your day.